The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as hamiltonradio.net, Diamonds FM, and themikewagnershow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundWeb Studios. Visit online at soundwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? SoundWeb Studios is the answer. SoundWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@soundwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosinzia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosinzia has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Mosinzia. Available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartradio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music. Also heard on hamiltonradio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and a few of the networks coming soon. Take The Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today and TikTok. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts along with baseball gear and more 24/7. Make sure you go to Amazon.com for more. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who is the author of several award-winning books. How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not? Also, Secrets of a Millionaire in Real Estate Investing. Also, how to avoid the 75 most commonly costly mistakes every investor makes. Also, Unlimited Riches and Pizza with a Rabbi. I actually had some pizza with him before, too. He's a New York Times bestselling author and wealth expert for CNN and Fox News. Well, renowned intellectual and significant figure in the spheres of real estate investment and branding negotiation. Also became a millionaire at 32 and overcame a number of obstacles, worked with numerous high-end clients, and we're going to be talking about what the experts predict will unfold in real estate. We'll find out just 1 minute, but live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios, somewhere in the United States, traveling 6 million miles, and looks like he's about to go 6 million miles and 1, ladies and gentlemen, New York Times bestselling author, wealth expert, and well-renowned, multi-talented, ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Robert Shemin. Robert, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Mike, great to be here. Thank you for that great introduction.
And
how are you today?
I'm doing great. And you know something too? After looking at your accomplishments, I mean, it is amazing what you do. You're a New York Times bestselling author, wealth expert for CNN and Fox News, world-renowned intellectual and significant figure in the spheres of real estate investment, branding, negotiation, and more. You became a millionaire at 32, retiring from investing, and you also overcame a number of obstacles as well, too. You worked with numerous high-end worth clients. You also had several books out there, as mentioned, especially with How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not? I'm sure everybody's asking that question. And of course, the question is, what experts predict will unfold in the future in terms of real estate? Before getting all that, Robert, Tell us how you first got started.
Excuse me?
Tell us how you first got started.
Well, I didn't speak till I was 10, had a speech impediment, then got thrown out of high school, never graduated. I didn't realize I was 18, dyslexia, kind of a slow start, if you don't mind me saying so. And when I was 18, I was at dyslexia. I was really going nowhere fast. Like most people, maybe like you, came from some really hard work parents and grandparents who taught me, go to school. If you don't like it, suffer, go some more. Get a job. Get a job, work hard, which we all did. And, we're never going to make any money. Rich is another club. Rich people are bad. Money's bad. Banks are bad. Everything's bad, and you just got to work. And if you don't like your work more, work harder. And if you suffer enough, maybe when you're 60, 70 years old, you can retire with a few dollars and have fun for a year or two, and then you die. That was kind of my program. And, everybody was really stressed. We had a farm. I'm from Tennessee. We always had something to eat, but never had money. I went out on the streets when I was 15, and I thought it would be impossible to make money, that rich people were in another club. Had to be really smart. And when I was 29 years old, here's how I got started, Mike. I ran into a mentor, guy that later became my mentor, who, just like me, had really no background, no education, no money to speak of. Started buying real estate. And when I met him about 25 years after he got started, he had over 120 properties paid for, was taking 6 months vacation a year, which nobody in my family took more than 2 weeks. You get fired, and was making millions of dollars. And I'm like, wait a minute. If this guy can get started with no money, no credit, maybe I got a chance. And I hired him, and he showed me how to do it. And like most people, the first year I worried, wondered, debated, did nothing. And after 1 year, I started buying properties using money partners because I had no money or credit. Quickly got about 11 properties in 8 months. Then I went to 20 properties and 100 and 300 and 500. And that was it. And I fell in love with business and real estate using systems. Started with no money or no credit. And now I've written 18 books, go around and teach people how to do it. And I'm still an active investor, kind of a serial entrepreneur. And I guess all that stuff, Mike, I'm attention deficit disorder. I get bored, so I got to keep working, keep starting stuff. But you got to do what you love and love what you do. I love it. I love deals. I love real estate. I love business, and I love helping others become successful.
That's really interesting too. It makes me think of the Geico lizard. Just love what you do. And if you love what you do, it's not a job. So you kind of remind me of the Geico lizard, which is really good. So, and very colorful too.
I love that little lizard. I used to work, and I would look at the clock. It seemed like 2 hours would go by, and it'd be like 4 minutes, because I was working in restaurants, making no money, couldn't pay my bills hardly. And, there's a lot of businesses to start, but bottom line is, if you want to make money, you pretty much either got to be an investor, which most people never get started on a systematic savings and investing program. They need a ton of money. Number two, I like real estate, of course. It's a good business. 80, 90% of the multi-millionaire billionaires, even though a lot of them made their money in tech now, do real estate. And then, number three, starting your own business of some sort. You're building someone's business or building your own. And I always recommend, even part-time, build your own. Why not?
And I think that's really important too these days, especially we're in a gig economy as well too. You used to be the 40-hour 9 to 5, get your benefits and everything else. And now with the state of the economy, and of course, we've pretty much gone to a gig economy, and it's also open for, starting up your own business or sole proprietorship, LLC, or even like, who really don't know anything about business, just a simple freelancer.
That's right. I'll say, well, what business do I start? I'm like, well, what do you love to do? What's your hobby? I've got a friend, and, I'm not recommending this. His hobby was wine. He loved wine. He wasn't a drunk, just loved,
Hey, I love wine, but in a different way. Yeah.
There you go. Cheers.
That and coffee too. I'll have some wine with you after this. So
I have a coffee business, used to support my foundations. So, take what you love. And he went out and started blogging, like you, and you're really good. And by the way, the pictures on your pillows and bags look just like you. So
thank you. Thank you. Feel free to purchase some.
I will. They look nice, look good.
Thank you.
Great stuff. And, do what you love and love what you do, and make your hobby your business. He started writing about blogs about wine, and now he makes millions of dollars, became a wine expert. We did coffee. You just raise your coffee cup. I have friends that like to travel. and they write about traveling, make videos about traveling, and get paid for what they love to do. So everybody, if they want to, can start something. Because as you know, from the pandemic, from some of the biggest companies in the world going bankrupt, there is no job security like maybe our parents and grandparents had.
Mm-hmm. And that's so true as well, too. I remember the depression, too, with my mom and dad are saying, get a job, get a trade, go to college and everything. Make sure you work 9 to 5 and just have security. Nowadays, it's pretty much like the baby boomers. I have to say is that it's pretty much the last generation who thrive on that. Now you got the Gen X, you got Gen Y, and whatever generations out there. They're pretty much turn the whole thing around as well, too, starting with the Gen Xers, and you got the Gen Zs and millennials with their different view of work and also different view of investing, business, and everything else.
Yeah. When I was born and raised in Nashville, which I love, it's a great city. Got family up in North Dakota where you're from. But I'll tell you, now you couldn't say this 30 years ago, you can live anywhere, work anywhere. I live in Medellin, Colombia. Got voted the #1 best retirement city in the world. Nice. Super inexpensive. And there's thousands of people from US, Europe, young kids doing all kinds of internet work, and they can live anywhere. And, I love, New York City and LA, but, $4,000 gets you a small 1-bedroom, maybe.
Or maybe like the size of a living room, just share with like so many people.
Yeah. I when I first started out in New York, someone said, I had a 2-bedroom, and they actually put a board in their living room, and there was like a manger you could sleep on top of. That's not a bedroom. They were trying to rent it for $1,500. What's crazy right now, I love real estate. It's gotten expensive, but a lot of people just can't afford it. I mean, it's just crazy. How are you going to afford? The average house now is $404,000 in the United States. Rents $1,500, $2,000 in a lot of places. I mean, what do you have to make a month to better afford that? It's not affordable for a lot of people. What are they going to do?
Mm-hmm. I guess that's a big question as well, too. We'll talk about how the future was going to unfold, especially real estate and some of the hot topics. We'll talk about some of your books as well, too. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit our line at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and Eve 11 endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Wagner Show on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, merchandise, and more. Also support The Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at The Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a New York Times bestselling author and wealth expert for CNN and Fox News, Robertshemin, here on The Mike Wagner Show. And before we talk about what the experts are going to predict in real estate, we got your books as well, too, like How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not? Many people are asking that. Secrets of a Millionaire Real Estate Investor, How to Avoid the 75 Most Costly Mistakes, and Pizza with a Rabbi. That's one of my favorite titles. And tell us about some of your books.
So the last one is I started a series where I'm going to have pizza with interesting people that people don't know much about. Judaism. So I sat down with a great rabbi and who gave me, I answered all the tough questions. I'm going to be doing that with all kinds of interesting people. So it's a new series of books I started. I try to write about 3 books a year. It's kind of my hobby, my love. I just love doing it. And, there's so many myths out there and misunderstandings, but that's why I write a lot of money books and wealth books, because it's really hard, Mike, to have someone educate you about how to get rich. They don't do it in school, or how to make money, or how to be successful. or how to buy some houses, or a house. I went to high school and eventually later after flunking out, went to college, and nobody taught me how to make or save money. And the results are sad. I think less than 25-30% of Americans have $5,000 available to them in their checking accounts. Over half of Americans have no savings. The average net worth when people get to retirement is about $80,000. That means half are above that and half are below that. A lot was zero. And the number one thing is that no one ever started a systematic savings and investing program. If we make 50 grand, we spend 70. If we make 100, we spend 120. And there's always ways you can buy a house without money or credit. A lot of misinformation out there. And that's like to help people get started. So let's get started. Which topic would you like to cover first? Real estate, money, getting out of debt. What's going to happen with these crazy markets?
Well, you know something too? I'm glad you brought that up. I love having pizza with you, especially with a rabbi. That's one of my favorites. And I do like sausage and pepperoni, by the way, a little bit of onion and also green pepper in it too. So I hope that tickles your fancy. If it doesn't, let me know. I'm okay with it.
And we got to make a conversation recorded. And let's make a book. There we go. Pizza with Mike.
There you go. Yes. I think we'll have it with a rabbi. There you go. And all kinds of people, real estate investors and more. And of course, I guess the big question is that what do the experts predict will unfold in the future, especially in real estate with the interest rates? They're just going through the roof right now. Last report was what, 6%, I heard?
So in a couple of months, Mike, the 30-year mortgage, there's exceptions, went from about 2.8 or 3 up to about 6. That's double. I mean, people are buying a house in contract, and all of a sudden their mortgage payment goes from $1,400 to $1,800, $1,900. That's an extra $400 or $500 a month. And a lot of people don't have it, and it's kind of frightening. A lot of people are getting priced out of the market. Double whammy. We got inflation. The house prices still have not come down. They're going up, 10, 20, 30% in some markets. And number two, now to get a loan, which used to be great, super cheap, 2.5, 2.6. Now you're looking at 5.8, 6.2, and it's getting tough out there. And the problem is, here's one thing a lot of people don't know. What's the real inflation rate? The government says 5, 6, 7, 8. But if you look at the government statistics, I understand it, they don't include energy or food. That's like saying, what's the price of a car, but we're not going to count the engine or the chassis.
Or like all the safety features, that's a big factor too. It's like back in the day, it's like without the safety features. I remember my dad, I think he had he had a Cadillac. It was just like $4,000, but it's like didn't have all the safety features. And you bought like Chevy Nova, it was like $2,000. I mean, you didn't have all like the safety features. You're an engine, chassis. You got your just like your radio, your air conditioner at the most. I mean, that was it. So.
But the inflation numbers don't include food or energy. So real inflation is probably a lot higher. You can't believe those government statistics. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And what does that mean? Your money is worth less every month, every year. And our salaries are not going up that much. So people are getting a sticker price with gas and housing. And here's the bad news is, the real estate market in certain markets, by the way, there's no real estate market, Mike. That's another big myth. Stock market went down. Well, which market? S&P, healthcare stocks, liquor stocks, they've been going up. Which segment of the market? So we'll say the real estate market in Florida or Miami or the United States. And I travel internationally, and I tell people the U.S. is kind of 50 countries stuck together. I'm in Texas right now. You can drive 14 hours in Texas and still be in Texas, pretty much. So which market? So when I say the markets, are going up or down, in every city, there's a bunch of micro markets, little pockets. So that's the first myth. Second myth, in a lot of areas, it's gotten very expensive. Interest rates are going up. And here's the bottom line: supply and demand. We got a problem, Mike. 8 million house shortage about. They just haven't built that much. And the millennials are one of the biggest population groups. They're starting to buy houses. Now the inflation and the high prices will slow it down a bit in certain markets. So I always tell people, do you think the real estate market's cheap right now? No. They're not giving it away. Do you think it's medium priced? Probably not in your area. Is it really expensive? Yes. And as you know, Mike, when you have a party, you got to pay the price. There's always a bit of a hangover. A lot of money out there. Price has been going up. So in certain areas, we're already starting to see it, corrections. So we're being very careful and waiting to buy, because right now you're not at the bottom of the market. You're not at the middle. You're at the high part. Too much money out there, chasing too few houses, and the prices have gone crazy in certain areas.
And of course, the big cities, of course, we all know about as well, too, and also increasing homelessness as well, too, that I was reading a report that I guess the markets like in Los Angeles, San Francisco has gone up so high where people are being driven out of homes. They can't get into a rental unit, like an apartment or a condo or anything. They're all out in the street, and it's getting more dangerous, too. There's also a public safety when people can't get a house, can't get even to an apartment or a hotel. It's like they're all out in the street, and it's getting to be like a jungle out there.
Yeah, certain big cities are, the quality of life gone way down. And there's a trend. A lot of people like me investing have gone to what I call the tertiary cities, the secondary. Nashville is one of the hottest markets where I'm from. It was a sleepy little town with some good country music and some good biscuits and gravy. And I love it. And now it's like one of the hottest areas around, because a lot of people, like you said, are leaving some of those areas. And also they're leaving the high tax areas. They're going to warm weather areas, and they're getting away from the urban mess, because they want to be a little more peaceful. And that's why you see some of these secondary cities go up. I think Nashville's up 30% in a year.
I remember that. And I think Atlanta back in the day was a sleepy little town around the 50s and 60s. And all of a sudden it started moving around the 70s as well, too. It became a sleepy market. You had Flagstaff, you had Phoenix, and of course you had Austin. And there was also word that up in North Dakota, especially in Bismarck, that they project that Bismarck in 2007 in 20 years would be like the next Atlanta or so.
That's a little bit of historical information. People go, what's the number one reason real estate's gone up so much? Yes, there's demand. Yes, there's a shortage, but you're going to be shocked by the answer. Government regulation. Think about it. You know, North Dakota 80 years ago, or California, your grandparents were in a wagon or a truck, and they could go out there, buy some land and build anything they probably wanted to, and nobody cared. And now to start to build a house in LA or even Nashville, you're talking about $50,000 to $100,000 of legal fees, regulations, environmental. You know, some of that's really good stuff. You got to protect, our land, but it's so expensive before we even build anything. Government regulation. And I always ask people, that's what a Harvard MBA study says. That's the number one reason real estate's gone up so much. Do you think government regulation is going to go down or up in the future? It usually never goes down, and that really increased the cost of building. That's why a lot of people don't even build homes. It's too expensive.
And also factor in too, as well as with safety and all that. And of course, thanks to the pandemic, it's like they're really keeping a close eye on things, sanitation and everything else. I mean, that's been a big issue. Safety is also an issue. Like something happens in a home. I mean, lawsuits are going up like sevenfold. That's another issue. Lawsuits.
Well, I eventually went to law school too, kind of for fun. And I think there's 200,000 lawyers that graduate every year in America, more than pretty much anywhere else in the world. And they need work.
They should go freelance like you and me. I think all the lawyers out there looking for work, just go freelance, will you?
Start a wine blog.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Wine, coffee, pizza, just about everything. And of course, you can also invest as well, too. And you talk about the stock markets and everything. And of course, the question is like, when's a good time to invest, when to start, or what to start, or what stocks or what sector to start off with when it comes to investing.
So here's the bottom line. I wish you would have started investing 20 years ago. I wish you would have started investing 10 years ago, both in real estate, bought every house you could get your hands on, bought most decent quality stocks. So what I like to do is, you can of course get the experts, and now they have all these great applications where you can invest $1 a day, $10 a day, and go with some of the pros. And I'll tell you, those websites, applications are nice. One is watch your cost, but two is get started. A systematic investing and savings program. Even if you start now and the market goes down 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15%, which it could, you're not selling now. You're going to sell in 10, 20 years, I hope. You're a long-term investor. And I think the number is if you put like $50, $80 a week in the market over the last 20 years, you probably have over $1 million at an 8, 10% return, which is actually done. So the main thing is get started, watch your cost, and you're a long-term investor. So I buy property below market, stocks you can't buy below market, but I'm thinking 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. If the markets go down a little bit, if my stock goes down or my house goes down a little bit, I'm not going to like it. Doesn't feel good, but I know that I'm in it for the long term. And of course, the houses, I rent them. Money's coming in every month. We have a saying in Tennessee, you can't go broke making a profit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's certainly true. I'm sure the writing country songs by now making big hits out of that.
There you go. But, you got to get started. And that's what people don't do. They don't start usually they're 30, 40, or 50. And the only investment they make is their own home, which again, over time has done pretty well for most people, but don't put it off. And in real estate, we make all the money on the buy. We buy from highly motivated sellers, 20, 30% below market. So if market goes down a bit, we're still okay. We know our numbers, which most people, don't take the time to do. So we're making money every month, what comes in, what goes out. And I always tell people, you're either making rent or paying rent. If you want to get wealthy, it's a little better, easier to do it when you're getting rent and with the right property, with the right thing. And then people say, well, I don't want to manage property. Well, I don't want to manage anything. A McDonald's, a Subway, or myself, I can barely manage. So we get professional managers, manage the manager, and there goes that problem out of the window. I'm not taking my toilet's broken on Saturday morning calls. That's what the managers do.
Mm-hmm. And rightfully so too. And that's where you also hire the help as well too. That is also important too. Like, best way to combat unemployment. We're in a gig economy that, not, back in the day, it's like they encourage everybody go to college, get a degree. Now it's just like, they're very short on blue collar jobs, trade jobs, electricians, plumbers, everything. We're seeing like a mass shortage out there.
And Mike, where did everybody go? Since the pandemic, I was in Nashville. They're starting people with $22 an hour to flip burgers, and they don't have help. Where did everybody go? What happened?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. And I was talking to some of the people up where I'm at, and there was a nursery that was offering like $30 an hour, but there was hardly any help. You also got stores all over, like 15, 18, or 20, whatever it is, hardly anybody comes. And there's also places, you're right, that 20, 30, 40 an hour, we got all the benefits in the world, but nobody's coming. The question is, why? That's the thing.
Well, believe it or not, some of them read my book and during the pandemic started their own businesses, selling on eBay, real estate, like you said, freelancing, and they're not going back to those service jobs, and they want to be their own boss, and they got a taste or an understand of freedom. I'm going to run my own schedule. I'm going to live where I want to live. And then, of course, some got checks. There would be unemployment or government checks, and that gave them enough time to start business. That's what apparently has happened. A lot of those folks started their own businesses or found better ways to make money, which
That's right.
is good and bad.
That's right, too. And also taxes as well, too. And of course, I love to have you back on, talking tax season and everything else, and, save up for taxes and some of the strategies as well, too, involving real estate.
Yep. Well, the tax code, according to my accounts, has a big sign on the front page. Start your own business, whether it's real estate or something. When you work for somebody else, you're pretty much, they're taking the money out of your check. You don't really get many deductions. The standard deduction, or maybe you have like a kid, you get $1,500 credit for each kid you have. Good luck with that. But when you start your own business, you get to write off everything. And I tell people money and taxes are a game. I have experts, and they say, well, when you're in real estate or have your own business, you get to write off stuff. So my car is 70% business. My phone's 70% business. My computer's 80% business. When you work for somebody else, you don't get those write-offs. And Mike, as you know, you can pay taxes two ways. And I'm not an accountant. This is what my expert statement is here for educational purposes only. Check with your own expert because everybody's situation is different. You can pay with taxes with check or cash or credit card, I guess, or with write-offs and deductions. No politics here. That's why no real estate investor, including the former president, would want anyone to see their tax returns, because there's a lot of things you can legally do, write-offs, depreciation. There's tax credits for helping do housing and low-income housing. And that's how we pay for taxes legally and ethically, not with our money. And it's hard to get rich, Mike, if somebody's taking 30, 40, 50% out of every check or your annual income. But when you start your own business, and a lot of benefits for real estate investing, Not my fault. I didn't write the tax code. They did.
I didn't write it.
Most people don't even understand it. So, but it's a game. And once you know the rules of the game, you would start your own business, get those write-offs, get those deductions, depreciations, because that's how most wealthy people pay. That's how most people pay their taxes, with write-offs, deductions, depreciation for real estate, not with their salary.
And also too, going back to some of the books as well too, 7 Secrets of the Money Masters as well too. Maybe just share a few secrets as well.
Well, we've already talked about them. Number one, you're either paying interest or getting interest. You've got to start investing or start your own business. Number 2, as we talked about in the beginning, do something you love. Number 3, when your money's not moving, it's probably not making you much. A lot of people are taught to money in the bank, let it sit there. Put the money in your home equity, let it sit there. Put the money in a retirement account and let it sit there. And if it's not making you a return, especially above inflation, you're losing money. So when I have money or credit, I put it to work. It's like water. If it's not running or flowing, it's probably getting bacteria and dying.
And mosquitoes attracting, yes.
The mosquitoes, we have another word for that in investing, parasites. And people
that too. Yeah. I mean, we got mosquitoes over there too in our neighboring state, Minnesota. 10,000 lakes, 10 zillion mosquitoes. That is so true.
So, what do money masters do? They know that their money has to be put to work. So for instance, you got to be really careful. When I get those offers in the mail for a credit card, 0 interest for a year, most people throw them away. I'm like, I can use their money. So what does a bank do? You put your money in the bank, whether it's $10 or $10,000, they pay you 0 or 1% free checking. And what do? They loan it out to your neighbor at 4, 5, 6, 7% on a house or a car. They're using your money to work. So when I get those credit card offers at 0%, I take the money and I know you got to know what you're doing. I can make 10, 12, 15, 18% on real estate, perhaps investments, and using other people's money if you know what you're doing. That's what the banks do. And I always tell people, don't let the banks make all the money. Speaking of which, another secret of the money masters, everyone thinks the only way to buy a house, that's what I was taught. Who taught you? Is mom and dad said, get a job, get really good credit, get a big deposit down, and maybe if you're nice, the bank will give you a mortgage or pay cash. And most people don't have the $300,000-$400,000 to buy a starter home these days, and they don't have the deposit or credit. So we have 11 other ways to buy real estate. 1, owner financing. There's sellers who don't really care so much about your credit that will give you money. Number 2, there's alternative funds, not banks that don't care about your credit. That can get you a home loan. Number 3, there's lease with an option to buy. One of my favorites in an expensive market like now, you're not buying it. You have the right to buy it. Rent goes to credit, lock in a price. You find some motivated sellers, which is difficult but possible in today's markets, and you're not throwing your rent money away. I'm a landlord. I'm glad people are, paying $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year. Think about all the money people spent on rent. They could have used it to buy a home, do a lease option, owner financing, or take some of that money, at least invest it in something, not the landlord. And as a landlord, I'm happy. Thank you. But stop doing it.
Exactly. And you also touched on retirement as well, too. That's another concern. Yeah, your typical Roth IRAs and 401ks and everything else. And what's the state of a retirement, and what's probably the best method to go in terms of investing for retirement? Obviously, the game has changed over 10, 20, 30, even 50 years ago in terms of retirement.
Well, now the technology, again, you have these amazing investors. You go in an application, start with, used to be at like $100,000 to get a good money manager. Now my son's 27. He takes like a few bucks a day, change a few dollars a week, and puts them in these different apps where they're actually spread around real estate, around stock market. And he's getting some of the managers that the millionaires and billionaires used to get. So that's a big, big development, is get started. You get started with $1, $10, $50, go around, look at those apps. A lot of them have very little cost and pretty good returns. Same with real estate. You can participate in commercial real estate deals with $50, $100, which again, that usually left for the millionaires and billionaires. So that's one way. Number 2, never invest in something you understand. Pick a market niche and stick with it. Warren Buffett, he's an expert, believe it or not, in a very small niche. Find something you like. I started out with restaurants in the stock market. When I was a kid, I loved Wendy's.
No, yeah, we all loved Wendy's. That's right. What was your favorite? What was your favorite menu offer there? I love that. What was it? That Baconator or something? It's like that's still my favorite.
Yep. I just had great taste, and I started buying a stock of something I knew that I liked, that I was impressed with, and it did very well back then. So, invest what you know. Never invest in something you don't know. When your friends come with some complicated Bitcoin investment, you don't know what it is. Please don't do that.
Oh, I was just going to mention about that, the Bitcoins and the NFT markets. And you said something about that. It's almost like it's a great thing. Sometimes you don't, and sometimes you proceed with caution. And from your perspective, what's the difference between the Bitcoin and the NFTs and crypto?
Well, first, so I'm not an expert in that, but I will tell you this. I do a little bit of investing, and I tell people, if you have to participate, take 5 or 10% of your investing. It's like a casino. Never, take all your money and put on one bet. It's too risky. Number two, there's some that I don't like about those markets. I've had friends make millions and lose millions of dollars. As far as I know, with certain coins, not all, 70, 80% of them are not in trading. They hold them. Kind of like the diamond market. A couple of families just hold them. So not trading 100% of the market, you're trading 20% of it. And that creates a false supply, not much, false demand, and false prices. If that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. So you really got to dig down deep. I'm a big believer in blockchain, that in the future, we're going to use it. It's great technology. But just like the high-tech stocks, when they all started coming out, a couple of them did very well, and a lot of them went bust. Please be super careful. Know what you're investing in. Don't bet put all your eggs in one basket. It's exciting when you hear your friend made 20% in 3 weeks, but is it sustainable? And as we've seen now, no. Mm-hmm. 20,000, 80,000, 18,000, a lot of volatility, a lot of risk.
It's like a huge roller coaster, you could pretty much say. And lastly, as well, too, if someone were to buy stocks today, what stocks would you recommend and why?
Well, first of all, I'm not a stock picker now. So what I do is either A, get a professional money manager, has a good record, B, diversification, and C, you need again, what I do is dollar cost averaging. I invest a little bit every month. So God forbid if the market crashes next month or 2 or 3, I'm not going to like it, but I know I'm not selling. That's when you lock in your losses. And I know I keep buying at those lower prices. So I hope that makes sense. Everyone's looking for the magic button, win the lottery ticket, and I don't have it. I'm a long-term, systematic investor. That's how you make money. Make sure you invest in value. That's what the wealthy people do. And here's the point, Mike. Fast money never seems to last. Have you ever noticed?
I have noticed, yes.
So it's slow, it's systematic, it's long-term. That's how you make money. I'm going to buy a house for a week. I'm not going to buy a stock for 3 weeks. If you know somebody can do that and pick it and consistently make money, God bless them. But it's long-term systematic investing.
It certainly is amazing as well, too. And what do you see, Robert, in about 5 years from now in the stock market? We'll answer that question in just a minute, or in real estate, I should say. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Mostly of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with New York Times bestselling author, wealth expert for CNN and Fox News, Robert Shemin, after this time out.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with author Robert Shemin, also wealth expert for CNN and Fox News here on the Mike Wagner Show. And Robert, we talked a lot about real estate. I learned a lot from you, and just all kinds of everything across the board, real estate, stock markets, and investing and everything else. And it comes to real estate. What do you see in the future in about 2023, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road for real estate?
Well, you're not going to like my answer. First of all, no one, including me, can predict the future, and I'll explain why, but then I'm going to give you some real pointers. Some real diamonds. Number one, remember 5 years ago, was anyone sitting around going, you know what? In 2 or 3 years, we're going to be all wearing masks, shut the airports down, not travel for some coronavirus? Nobody. So what you worry about probably never happens. And what you don't worry about always happens. And if you don't believe that about investing, look at some relationships you've been in. Surprise. Anyway, here's the point. Listen. There's no one market in the stock or real estate market. Some markets are probably going to stay okay. Low tax states, jobs like my town, Nashville, supply and demand. Lots of jobs moving in, low taxes, good weather, good place to live. A lot of places like that. Some of the very expensive high tax states that don't have the jobs or support, we're going to see some real corrections. We're already seeing millions of people behind on their home payments right now. Now, I don't believe it's going to be a crisis like it was 2008. That was a financial crisis where they made up paper. But we're going to see some real correction, some real downward trends, some real slowing down. It's already happening. Mike, as you know, behind every investor, every bank, every fund, there's a person. And about 1 or 2 or 3 months ago, the mood went bad. All of a sudden, all you hear about is inflation.
And gas prices too. That's been the
gas prices, Putin, Ukraine, Russia, supply chain, travel problems, no baby formula. Like all of a sudden it went just bad and people are not in a good mood and investors are pulling back, buyers are pulling back. So what does that mean? For a shrewd person like you and me, we wait a little bit, we get our money together and we're going to see some real buys. When maybe even Bitcoin or a stock or some real estate that goes down 10, 20, 30, 40%, you got to have your backup plan. There's going to be real buys, but we're in for a real slowdown, a little bit of a hangover from all this money floating around. It's called inflation. Your money's worth less. People start buying stuff and they get in a bad mood and things slow down. And the question is, what are you going to do about it? Now, when things slow down, I get excited. That's when I start buying more.
and that's a good thing as well, too. And what else can we expect from you in 2022 and beyond, Robert?
Well, you better have a backup plan. There's going to be job losses. There's going to be unemployment is going to go up. It's been almost, nothing or zero for a long time. And you better be prepared and get cash. You can always save some money. Always look for some expenses to get rid of, make it into a fun game. And again, start that systematic savings program and get ready because I believe in a year or two, not in the next couple of weeks or months, we're going to see some real opportunities to buy stuff. And you missed the last one, right? People were sitting around waiting. You missed the other one. So don't miss this one. It's not going to be as huge as the ones before, I don't think, but we're going to see some real opportunities. And again, certain markets, certain companies will be okay. They may get out a little bit or not up as much, but we're going to see some real opportunities.
And certainly
we'll be prepared.
We will be prepared, Robert. We're here with Robert Shemin, author of How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not, along with several other best-selling books in the New York Times, on the Mike Wagner Show, wealth expert as well, too. And who do you consider biggest influence in career, Robert?
The biggest
influence in your career, yes.
Oh, for me personally, would be mentors. All you got to do is copy and paste, just like on the email. Find success. I met a guy who was successful in real estate, and I got him as a mentor, copy and paste. When I wanted to grow my businesses to a new level or start businesses, I found people who had already grown that business. And I always tell people, if you want your kid in high school to play golf or tennis or football or whatever you're into, you need a coach. The kid's not going to show up by themselves in practice. And if your kid wants to go play college ball or Olympics, they need a better coach. So I don't know anyone that's really successful without mentoring. Number 2, education. I'm still to this day reading 1 or 2 books a week, articles. Educate yourself, become, like my father taught me, narrow and deep. Become an expert in something you love to do. And when you love it, you don't feel like you're working. I love money. I love real estate. I love markets. I love starting businesses. It's my hobby. So not really working. You can do the same. And the other thing is stick with it. Everybody wants to start something. They've been thinking about writing a book, starting a business. Well, here's my advice. Please start today. Block 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes. Start writing. Start doing research. Start meeting people. Make a plan. I don't care if it's 2 hours a week, 4 hours a week, 15 minutes a day, and everybody's got time. And here's the kicker. You know this. You've been doing this for a long time. Stick with it. I promise you'll get better.
And great advice as well, too. I like that, Robert. I love it. And and of course, the best advice you gave, and what's the other best advice we can all learn from you?
Yep. Well, that thing, stick with it. Nobody remember. You remember your first day of work? I didn't know where anything was, who was doing what, how to do anything. And after 6 months, it's easy. You got to get started and stick with it and have fun with it. And the other thing is a big one. I used to stress about money. The minute you want to stress people out, talk about mortgages, debt, banks, money, the market, and the mood changes. It's no fun. And the minute you can make money a game, which my mentor taught me, it becomes a lot easier. You got to take the emotion out of it. My family was always upset because we never had any money. We were always yelling about it, screaming about it, attitude. And there's plenty out there. Other people have done it who have less skills than you. You can do it too, if you want to.
Mm-hmm. And that's certainly great advice as well, too. Once again, we're with New York Times bestselling author and wealth expert for CNN and Fox News, Robert Shemin, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Robert, a very big thank you for your time. You're absolutely amazing. Learned a lot from you. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love having you back. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact? Where can people check out your books and also check you out as well?
Well, first of all, great to be on the Mike Wagner Show. I respect everyone here learning and listening. And if they want free stuff, got a lot of free stuff at my website, robertshemin, SHEMN.com. And of course, I'm on the social media, which is the new highway. And we got some free videos and free courses for you there on Facebook and Instagram, Robert Shemin, SHEMN. Say hello. And if you have some questions, let us know. We'll try to answer them. How's that? People help me, so I love helping people all the time.
And that certainly do so, and that's great advice. Once again, Robert, a very big thank you for your time. You have an absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having it soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love having you back. We wish you all best. And Robert, you've definitely got a great future ahead of you.
Thank you. Stay happy, healthy, and much success.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen Zia of Missing. And powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms. And of course, on themikewagnershow.com, hamiltonradio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at themikewagnershow.com. Thanks for listening.